Hi, I am Nancy Clements, and I like bins. A lot of bins. Bins are great! Got a bunch of crap you don't know what to do with? Put it in a bin. Now it's organized crap. Go a step further and put all your bins up on some shelves. Good bin. Doesn't get much better than that. Well, maybe if they were all labeled. Nice. I'm telling you, if you don't have a bin wall, you're missing out. Honestly, the only downside is, well, whenever you need to get something out of a bin. I mean, you kind of have to just, hold it awkwardly and, put the lid in one hand and search around for what you need. And then you gotta close it back up. Or, I mean, you can walk it all the way over to a table. Open it up, find what you need, close it back up. And then you gotta walk it all the way back. I mean, that sucks. That's why I made this. It's the Slide-O-Matic Bin Tray. Simply slide out the tray, slide out your bin, set your bin on the Slide-O-Matic Bin Tray, open your bin, search around the bin for what you need, find what you need, set it on the Slide-O-Matic Bin Tray, close the bin, slide the bin back on the shelf, take what you need, and slide away the tray. It's that easy. So I'm really happy with this. I've been using it a bunch ever since I finished it and installed it. And especially considering my initial design for it, which I barely understand what the heck I was thinking. It looks like I had like this would have been the tray, and I had some sort of pivoting arm mechanism that would slide back and forth as it would. I mean, how overcomplicated. So I'm very glad I realized I could just do a simple sliding tray. I mean, it's just a simple tray and a simple frame, no weird levers or mechanisms or anything to overcomplicate it. So keep it simple, stupid definitely applies here. So I started by actually making this cardboard template, and these two hooks here just hook onto the two rungs of the wire shelf. And my plan was to actually just cut this out of wood. It wouldn't have been too hard, just trace this onto a board and then just cut it out. But then I thought maybe I could make it easier while also more complicated by making this part a 3D print. So I took a few measurements, and really in only a matter of minutes I had my design in Fusion 360 and I printed it out, and I ended up with this cool little clip that clips onto these wire shelves just like that. Very satisfying. I was really pleased with the fit and the overall function. They worked great. And so now that I have these, I didn't have to do any fancy woodwork. I could just take a regular board and then just screw these on. So the whole tray simply unsnaps and slides right out. So the overall construction is extremely simple. So the tray itself is just a sheet of plywood. It's got some runners on the bottom for support, and of course the runners on the front and back. And the frame is really nothing more than these two strips of wood with a dado in it. It's just this slot that the tray runs along. Then these two stretchers, which just kind of hold it all together. These really aren't even that necessary, but it does keep it as one piece. You don't have to guess how far apart it needs to be. But the real star of the show are these 3D printed clips that, again, make it super easy. Just snap it into place on those wireframe rungs. Slide in the tray, and that's it. So this works perfectly. I'm super happy with it, but the one thing I think I might change is it does stick out pretty far. I just kind of built it as I went along. It just ended up protruding a bit more than I thought it would, but it should be super easy to fix. There's plenty of room back here. If I just cut this notch out a bit more, I can move the stretcher here, chop off this front part, and then the tray will sit nice and flush with the front of the shelf. So I think that'll look a bit better. It won't change the functionality at all. It'll still work just as good as it does right now. So that's one small change I think I'll make, but beyond that, I'm really happy with it. It can hold a decent amount of weight. Pretty much any bin that I put on it, it's gonna support it. It is a bit springy, but the whole shelves, that's kind of their nature. The wire shelves are just in general a bit springy. But there you have it, this super cool sliding wireframe shelf tray made possible by this really neat wireframe shelf clip, which I think has a lot of potential all on its own. I mean, you could clip it on the front here and you could mount like a sign or something or a label that way, which is pretty cool. I think there's a lot you could actually do with this clip. So there'll be a link in the description where you can download it for free and print it yourself. It's quite strong. I print it in this orientation, so the layer lines go this way, so the strength is where it needs to be. Just print it out, screw it on, glue it to whatever you need. I think this is a really useful little thing. So useful that I feel like there might actually be a commercially available product like this already. If there is, let me know, but again, still, you could just print one out yourself at 2 a.m. in the morning. That's always a nice thing to be able to do. So if you have a wireframe shelf, I would definitely recommend making a sliding tray for it. You'll definitely get a lot of use out of it. And even if you don't have a 3D printer, you can of course still make this bracket out of wood. It really wouldn't be that hard just to trace this shape and cut it out on scroll saw. Just kind of drill those holes out. It should snap in and be just as functional. And of course, really all we're talking about here is a sliding tray. You could make this any number of ways and attach it to any number of things. Anywhere that you need additional but temporary horizontal surfaces to temporarily set temporary things. But my sincere thank you for watching. Once again, I am Nick D. Clements. If you're wondering, Nick is short for Nicholas, and the D stands for drone charger. Anyway, I'm off to make something else. And I like bins. Where did we get an echo in here? What is... something. Huh? Hello? That sounds... There was not an echo in here before. It sounds like a robot.